the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome to Boom in the Sky. Thanks for coming, guys. I am still here in Fargo, North Dakota at PGI. Again, it is my first time here. I'm just walking around the convention center. I'm meeting a whole bunch of great people, and I stumbled on this booth. It is PassFire, and I met Jesse. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask him a bunch of different questions about what is PassFire, so I'm actually gonna step off here, but I'm gonna turn it over to Jesse, and we're gonna just ask him some fun questions. So thanks for coming, and I'm excited to hear about PassFire.
Thanks, Adam. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So first off, I guess, tell everybody your name, tell everybody what you do, and why you're here at PGI.
Well, I'm Jesse Veverka. I'm the producer and director of the entire PassFire canon, we call it, which has started off as a documentary film about fireworks all around the world and has grown into a 4-part documentary series with additional movies. I'm here at PGI this year because we just came out with our latest release, PassFire Maximum Load, which is a 2-disc set, which has a disc with 7 episodes about fireworks around the world, and then a full-length documentary movie on the second disc about the world's largest firework, the 62-inch shell that was shot in Steamboat Springs last spring in 2020.
That's great. So what made you want to create the original version of this film? What was your inspiration? How did you get into fireworks?
Well, I grew up in upstate New York, and so, when I was growing up as a kid, fireworks weren't legal, consumer fireworks weren't legal, but I was still fascinated with them. And growing up, I always thought it would be really neat to be somehow involved with the fireworks business. I never had that opportunity. I ended up going to school for something else. But about 15 years ago, my brother and I really got into doing documentary, and we started doing independent documentaries around the world. And in that process, I ended up in China, where I was doing a documentary on education, English education in China. And it just so happened that I was in the town right next to where most of the fireworks in China are produced, in Luoyang. So on the weekends, I started visiting Luoyang and going to the fireworks factories kind of just out of personal interest, and realized that there was a whole world out there, potential stories to be told about fireworks manufacturing, specifically in China. And I met Terry Winkle, who lives there part of the year and works as an agent, hooking up US buyers with Chinese manufacturers. And he kind of helped get my foot in the door so that I could meet factories and actually get access to them to video them. And that was kind of the birth of the PassFire concept, which from that just started growing. And we said, well, what about fireworks in other countries besides China? And pretty soon we went to Japan and filmed fireworks there. Then a bunch of countries in Asia, like Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, and then we came to our first PGI in 2013, and I realized that there were a whole lot of other people who shared the same passion for fireworks that I had, and were interested in what we were doing, showing the way that fireworks are used in various traditions and cultural celebrations around the world. And so that's really what got PassFire started. And once that happened, and we released the film in 2016, people wanted to see more. So we did a series 1 where we had 6 additional episodes. And then we followed that up a year later with series 2 with 6 more episodes and a bonus episode. And then we took a little time to say, do we want to keep doing this? Are there more stories to tell? And we thought there were. So in 2018, we spent a long time traveling, doing new travel, going around the world again. And that was kind of the seed of what started our latest production, PassFire Maximum Load. We call it Maximum Load because we believe it's the most PassFire we've ever put in a release. It's over 6 hours of programming, again, 7 new episodes, and a feature-length film.
That's awesome. So what was your favorite place to visit in this whole process?
That's a question I actually get asked a lot, is like, where was my favorite place? And it's a little hard to answer because there's so much exciting stuff out there. But I think for me personally, it was probably what we saw when we went to India, to southern India and Kerala, where they make these massive salutes, and they do it a little differently. Instead of shooting them out of tubes, they actually dig holes directly in the ground. It's a very hard-packed earth there. So they're digging holes that are anywhere from maybe 6 inches up to a couple feet in diameter. Some of the really big ones, maybe 3 feet in diameter. And they launch these giant, they're basically like a paper mache ball. It's a little different than our pasted balls here. But they launch those out, they're completely filled with flash powder. These are by far the largest salutes I have ever seen anywhere in the world, and it's very exciting.
That's awesome. And what's your, so you've seen a lot of fireworks, you've seen different cultures and how they shoot them. What's your favorite effect?
That's also a great question. What my favorite effect is. I'm actually really into rocketry also as a hobby. So I like anything that's rocket related, and specifically I think in fireworks, girandolas, which are basically spinning hoops with multiple rocket motors. So they're spin stabilized, but they're very exciting because you never quite know where they're gonna go. It turns out that one of my close neighbors back home is a master girandola builder and does some excellent work. He comes to PGI every year and just presented a beautiful girandola the other day. So I think that's my favorite thing, is just seeing the craft in building the girandolas and never quite knowing what they're going to do.
And what was the thing that shocked you the most? Like I've never been to it, but and I think it's Spain. They hang the
Fias, yeah.
Yeah, and the whole courtyard is just filled with this explosion, this massive explosion.
Yeah, so Spain is amazing. The Fias is a celebration where they hang salutes throughout the town square. But I think for me, the thing that would be the most shocking that I've seen is a little bit similar, but it was in Italy, where they hang smaller strands of these salutes they call batteria in Italian across the squares in the city, and then actually people run with them as the salutes go off down the chain. So it's kind of like the running of the bulls, but with fireworks.
Wow, that's amazing. So when you, what inspires you? You had like rockets are the thing that you really love, but what about ball shells or big shells or like the ginormous 2-foot canister shells?
Yeah, I mean, I love shells too, and big shells especially. I had the pleasure of being able to work with the team that just won the Guinness World Record last year for the largest aerial ball shell. This was a 62-inch ball shell weighing almost 2,800 pounds, by far the largest shell that was certified that has ever been launched in the world. It was shot out of a 26-foot gun on top of a mountain in Colorado, and it was truly spectacular to see that. Being involved in the project was very interesting because the first attempt actually was a failure. So the team had to come back, regroup, figure out what went wrong, and then rebuild, and then was successful. And we were there every step of the way documenting that process. And that is on that PassFire disc I was talking about. We call it the world's largest firework.
So I ask this question of everybody, but what advice would you give to someone that's just getting into fireworks, whether they're just a backyard pyro or they're evolving into a 1-3 pyro?
Well, yeah, when people ask me what I would advise the people who are getting interested in fireworks, it might sound corny, especially because I'm at the PGI, but my advice would be go to a PGI. There's no other place you're going to find so many people who are passionate and also very open to speaking to you, teaching you, showing you, and kind of inducting you into what is a guild, and that's why it's called the Pyrotechnics Guild International. If that's a little out of your reach or a little more than what you want to do, I would also recommend, just going online, looking at YouTube videos. There's some good ones out there these days, or check out PassFire. PassFire is just an amazing, taste of what fireworks around the world are like.
And where can people pick up the DVD if they're at home, or can they download it, or how do they get PassFire?
So if you want to get a copy of PassFire, you can either get it on DVD, it's on Amazon and eBay, or you could go to Vimeo and do a 4K download, which is probably the easiest way to do it, and you're going to see it in the best resolution possible.
And what's next for PassFire?
Well, we're working on a new production for next year, and we're tentatively calling it PassFire Overloaded. So it's the kind of the next step after Maximum Load. And that's going to be new material, several more episodes. We're thinking about doing a blooper reel from all the stuff we shot over the years. That should be really fun. And we're still editing that right now, but we've planned to release that next summer.
That's cool. Anything else you'd like to say to...
I'd like to just say that, I think fireworks is just an amazing hobby and a profession as well. There's so many great people involved with it. If you have any interest at all, it will get under your skin and you'll be doing it for years to come. So, I really encourage people to get involved, go to things like the PGI, and go to other local clubs.
Okay, guys, thanks again for coming to Boom in the Sky. I hope you guys liked this video. Jesse, it's been a pleasure.
Thank
I'm
you, Adam.
glad I got to talk to you about PassFire. I watched the DVD, the first one. I've seen it, and it's just an amazing story. So thanks for coming, and thanks for talking to us. But anyway, if you guys liked this video, of course, smash that like button. Drop a comment down below. Have you watched PassFire, or are you going to go out and get PassFire
Maximum load.
I want to say multiple load, but are you going to get PassFire maximum load, and are you excited for PassFire overload? So anyway, thanks again for coming to Boom in the Sky. But like I always say, make it beautiful and make it loud. Thanks, guys.